Good afternoon and welcome again to Vaybaba. I am Gilded Branch. This is season 2, episode 19. We are joined by Steve Cobbs up there.
Hello.
And the Separationist is over there.
Hello.
And Captain Danface up there.
Hello.
And we're going to get straight into it. Tonight I'm going to pass you over to our host, our DM, who's written this campaign completely homebrew, fun over function. He's going to give us a recap, and we're going to go straight there. And he's up there, Captain Gingerbeard.
Good evening. Welcome to episode 19. Let's get the recap from episode 18. So, last episode, the party returned to Castle's View, stowing their weapons in the bag of holding so as to get past the newly changed gate guards. They were given direction to an art dealer in the city to sell the art they'd recovered from the cultists there. And upon making a deal there, Walther felt compelled to inspect a seemingly abandoned wizard's emporium. After an odd and brief exchange with the wizard known as Bartholomew, they ended up in a pub. The next day, Bartholomew was able to summon and bind the demon that had been bothering Logan for some time to the material plane, using a recently killed member of the public that had a specific magic item that Lily wanted. Logan made a deal with the demon rather than kill it, and must now adhere to the terms of the infernal contract in exchange for a magical spell, or forever serve his new dark master in hell for all eternity. After this exchange, Bartholomew revealed he had one of the dwarven doors of transportation, usually used for local travel or global travel on Vaybaba, using teleportation magic. Though he didn't know how to activate it for the purposes of planar travel to the hell plane to further his interest in the occult, although he had discovered it could be twisted and used in this manner. The party, after being scared off by some guards who wanted a word with Bartholomew, quickly headed to meet Harriet Gloryweaver at the airship dock, where she explained of her success in gaining access to whatever was being guarded by the golem near Waterhold, a chamber with strange glowing lights behind a star chart with a blinking light on it. She then had a private word with Logan, unveiling that they were in fact siblings, and her help would be invaluable to the group, and that is where we're going to pick it up from now. A slight information, or a bit of extra information, I suppose. We didn't, because it was all very spur of the moment, we didn't talk about what the deal, the terms of Logan's contract with this demon were. And if you are watching this, or indeed listening, if you're on the podcast, and want to know why he's doing deals with demons, it's because this is homebrew. Usually contracts are reserved for devils. There is no 9 hells in this. There is just 1 hell, and devils and demons are much the same thing. There are some slight differences I've retained, but you'll get to that eventually. So we dealt with the random potion, didn't we? That was all done. Lily took a magic ring, which requires identification, although we've on the side spoke about what that will be. So that's done. So Logan's contract. Do you want me to disclose the spell that I gave you, or are you happy to? Do you want to keep that anonymous for now?
I would say, yeah, we can disclose what we've got, but not the terms of the agreement.
Yeah. Okay. So you got Eldritch Blast. So we said a Warlock range spell. So we've given you Eldritch Blast as a cantrip. You can use that once per long rest because you are not technically a spellcaster. I won't tell the group or the audience indeed, what the price is for that, what you have to do to fulfill the contract. Do you want them to know what the consequences are for not fulfilling the contract?
Consequences is fine.
Consequences for not paying the price, which we've separately agreed. If Logan dies before the contract is fulfilled, he will serve the demon for eternity in hell. His body and soul will be transported there for eternal damnation. If he willingly does not complete the task he has been set, this will also result in him being transported directly to hell. Sorry, it won't. Got that completely wrong. If he willingly does not complete the task set out, he will be transformed into a demon on the material plane. He will change his appearance. He'll have horns, a tail, that sort of stuff. He will look very demonic, which is probably going to cause a great deal of problems, and he will probably end up being murdered by someone for being a demon. At which case, of course, he'll end up in hell. surfing out eternity. So basically, do what you have to do, or you will go to hell, and that will be the end of Logan. Yeah, so we won't go into what it is you have to do. I know you want to keep that to yourself. Yep, so that's pretty much it. So we'll get on with the episode, really. Harriet and Logan were having their private conversation, and the rest of you were in just in the sort of main living area of her airship / yacht. So Logan and Harriet will exit from the her bed area, her bed chamber in there, and
You've made this sound
or
very
cabin.
crude.
Well, I suppose if you watched last episode or listened to last episode, it isn't very crude because you know what happened, and hopefully you know what happened from the recap. But you come out of there and rejoin everybody else, and she will just say to everybody, "Right, it's up to Logan if he wishes to divulge what we were discussing, but I can get you an audience with Lord Taylor. It's just going to take some time, so I can go and do that. Perhaps we should leave the dock and head out into the city. I need to go and do that, and you can tie up any other loose ends that you need to, if you have any."
Sorry to ask you something, but do you know anybody that has the ability to identify magical objects?
There are people in the world that I know of that can do such a thing, but you just need to find yourself a mage or a wizard of some description, somebody of a magical position who could probably do that for you.
Yeah, I was just wondering if you have anybody in your crew that.
Oh no, these are just general dog's bodies, really. They
Okay.
sail the boat for me.
All right,
Sorry.
that's okay. It's not your fault.
Anything from anybody else? Or should we? What do we do? We can head
Logan's
out.
going to be a little bit sort of in thought, a bit quiet at this point. He's just going to be like, what's the plans, guys?
Logan, you look in pain. Is there anything we can give you? Haven't looked this perplexed for quite some time. Since the last time you had to decide to turn left and couldn't decide which way that was.
We all know I'm not a great thinker. I'm more of a break things now, ask questions later. But there's a lot of things going through my mind. And guys, meet my sister. And he points at Harriet.
You can't be related. She's quite pretty.
Apparently,
Thank you.
she got the blessed side of it.
Well, you certainly got the other side of the coin.
You never mentioned you have a sister.
I didn't know until just now.
And to be honest, I only recently sort of was able to piece all the pieces together, the evidence together, and figured it out myself.
Wow. How are you alright? How do you feel?
I don't know. I mean, I've always wanted family. I've been brought up, thinking it was just me. The pits were cruel. But now it's just all strange. Everything I thought was real is gone. And now I've just got to... I don't know. I feel a bit numb right now. I think I need time.
I'm always here if you need to talk.
I mean, if I was to choose families, pretty cool one, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's true. Yeah. Yeah, you could have had some swamp person. But no, you got a kick-ass
I could
spy.
have had Walter.
No, not with those ears you couldn't. I have a little something to admit. I kind of knew that this was coming, for I could only think of sending your image to Harriet in a dream to communicate with her. I thought that your presence might be more comforting than the rest of us. She seemed to have a connection with you, and I knew of this but decided it was better to come from her direct than from myself. So forgive me for holding on to the knowledge, but I had to be sure that she was ready to divulge it to you herself.
You know my history and the turmoil and fighting and the hatred I've been through before I met you, and thinking I have no one and no family, and you knew and said nothing.
Yes, because it was her decision.
What about
I am,
my
after all, a
decisions?
gentleman. Ladies first, as they say.
No, Harry would probably say, now, boys, let's not have any arguing or fighting. There is work to be done. You want an audience with Lord Taylor? It's going to take some time. So, I need to get on with that.
Okay, well, if we've got to wait for the town meeting, then maybe we should make the most of it and go and see if there's anything worth pilfering.
This won't be a town meeting. This will be a private audience.
We were told that couldn't happen.
Yes, but you were told that by people who aren't me.
Well,
The Shadows has a lot of influence over people. A lot of
apparently
sway.
so.
Hank Marvin was indeed an influential figure.
So, what's the plan while we let Harriet get to work?
I don't know, but what do you think? Maybe we should return to the magic shop and ensure that none of the artifacts left out should fall into the bad hands?
I'm just trying to...
me.
What
Yes?
time of day would it be right now?
I was just literally about to say, I'm just trying to remember where we got to. You slept, went back to the magic shop, to Bartholomew, where you've confronted the demon, and then you went to meet Harriet. So it's probably late morning, to be honest. It's probably late morning. But yeah, I mean, if you want to head out from here, and she'll go with you. It's a rather large tower, the airship dock, and as you step out, you can sort of take in a lovely view of the entire city and some of the country beyond it, really, because you are very high up. And what you sort of see a lot of landmarks from up here. You can see the central government building. You can see what looks to be some sort of a church or like a temple to the north of here. And then you can see the other, the sprawling metropolis. It looks to be some sort of like a stadium or like a coliseum type thing. Logan may well be familiar with that. Some sort of fighting arena, perhaps.
Certainly.
Whether or not you fought here, I don't know. But something like that. And then, you'll have all the other bits and bobs. All the streets, the houses, the shops all laid out before you. But you head down this tower, and it's a very, very long way down. Lots and lots of stairs, so you're definitely getting your steps in for the day. And you head down, and as you go out into the street, and you sort of pass an alleyway, these two guards step out, and they go, "Oi, you lot, come here. And you, Glory Weaver." And she goes, "Oh, really?
What's
Black
wrong?
Hand henchman?" And they go, "Well, not just henchman." And you see this very smartly dressed. I mean, you've probably figured out by now. It's very much Peaky Blinders at this point, isn't it? You see this not bald head, like a skinhead kind of guy, very well dressed. He's got trousers, shoes, nice shirt, and he sort of steps out, and his sleeves are rolled up. He's very burly, very big man, and he steps out and he says, "Harriet Glory Weaver. Well, fancy seeing you here again. You're not meant to be coming back around these parts after what you pulled." She says, "Oh, for heaven's sake. Right, fine. What is it you want?" And he looks at everybody else. And he says, "Well, I don't see what business it has to do with any of this lot. Maybe they could clear off, and we'll conclude our business in private." How do you guys want to react to that?
Whatever business Harriet has with you is our business too, so I don't think so.
Oh, is that so? New associates of yours, is it, Harriet? All right, then. You took a lawful lot of money from us, and now we want it back. She just sort of looks at them and says, well, clearly I'm not carrying an awful lot of money on me now, am I? Anything from you guys? Or are you just going to let me talk to myself?
I mean, we don't know what's going on here. It's between it's between you and you.
It's between you and Harriet and you and the thieves.
I know,
yes.
but I'm just thinking it's not like Logan to just stand back and let things go on like
Logan's
this.
had a bit of a shake up in the last hour. But
Logan, you've just got a sister and you're not sticking up for her. What are you going to do?
Well, anyway, they continue and there's like, right then, Harriet. Well, you're going to have to go and get this money for us, aren't you? Because otherwise, the boss isn't going to be taken too kindly if we turn up empty-handed. She's, oh, I give up with you, and she just says, "Come on," to you lot. Come on, let's just go. They can't harm us. And that's when one of the guards draws a sword and says, "I think you'll find we can harm you if we wanted to."
Okay, hold on. Let's just calm this down. We're not here for pleasure. We're not even here for business in a way. We're here to deliver some news, talk to the mayor, and then we'll be out of your hair. We're not gonna cause any trouble for you.
That's when the smartly dressed one, he says, "You think the mayor, the lord, is going to help you? Really? You don't get an audience with the lord. Not Lord Taylor. He's too uppity."
Well,
I think
perhaps the fact that he might need to help himself might be more of an incentive, but that's information for him, not for you.
also I have
Oh,
to
is it now?
say that I think you should worry about trying to find the money you lost because your boss will not be very happy and leave us alone because we know what we're doing. We will have what we want to. And if you get in front of us, you will just see our swords. So bug it off and leave us alone.
You think I'm some sort of petty criminal you can just threaten with?
You don't
I'm
know
not going to go
who.
cowering back to the shadows.
Well, I guess this is where you belong, but and you don't even know with whom you're talking about, you're talking with. So I would recommend to just go back to your shadows and to your miserable life and leave us alone.
Harriet sort of just looks at you and then looks at them and shrugs. And they look at you guys and like, what do you reckon, boss? Well, the guard says, he says, let's pick our fights. We won't take them here. She owes us money. We saw her coming. Now she's hanging around with this lot. They're stuck out a bit. We'll find them again, don't you worry. And they just skulk back into the alleyway for a moment.
Ooh.
Well, perhaps we should keep our heads down for a while.
Harriet says, right, come on, let's just go. Don't worry about them. And money, rubbish. I don't owe them money. I did a job for them and it all went pear-shaped. Never mind, let's go.
Anything we need
cool.
to be worried about?
She sort of hurriedly sort of ushers you away and from this alleyway, and as you're walking, she's saying, no, nothing to worry about. It's one of the jobs of the shadows. We don't take sides. Anyone can ask us to do something for them, and they just happen to approach us. They needed someone taking out. Only when I got there to do the job, the person was already dead and a bounty collected. They thought that I did it and didn't give them their cut, basically. Which isn't true. So, but you can't convince them of that. They're very stubborn, pig-headed people. But don't worry about that. They might try and, I'm sure we haven't heard the last of it. I'm sure the Taylors will be, not the Taylors, sorry, the Fletchers will be trying to cause us more bother as we go on. But let's try and get our business done here as quickly as possible, and we won't have to worry too much. But if if they get in the way too much, then I don't know. Maybe we could end up taking them out.
So, as you've had sort of previous dealings with this Black Hand, are they any threat? Or in numbers, when there's a bit more than that? Or how far in are they?
As a family, they're not all that big. There's, I think, in total, about 6 of them, really, that are a problem. The head of the family and the rest are pretty much the muscle. Some of the brain, some of the muscle. It's the amount of people they have in their pocket that's the problem. Guards, businesses. Of course, they're trying to buy the city over so that they can have an easy time of kicking out Lord Taylor, effectively, and taking control for themselves. I mean, I have no real political interest. I don't. If that's what they want to do, that's what they want to do. You know, they have ambitions. That's great for them. I'm indifferent. Lord Taylor has done nothing to me, and well, apart from this misunderstanding, they haven't really done anything to me either. These Fletchers. I'm not going to go around certainly killing them for no reason, but if they insist on making my life a problem, then perhaps I will.
I mean, they're not presenting as a huge threat at this moment. I say we just carry on.
They could make your life very difficult, very quickly. Very, very difficult.
Dead men tell no tales.
People could stop trading with you in the city. There's an awful lot of guards in their pocket. If they wanted to take you out, they could do so very easily.
Surely if we took out the whole family, there's nothing to fear.
I think if you cut the head off the snake, then there'd be not very much to fear. They'd probably be very disbanded and very disjointed if you killed the head of the family.
Just theoretically, how difficult would it be to get to and cut off the head of said snake?
I don't imagine it'd be too difficult. I mean, they operate a club in the city, and pretty much their headquarters, really. It's very public. Anyone can go in. They specialise in female dancers and gambling in this place.
Anyone up for
It was
betting
once a
and
front.
relieving stress?
Sorry, say again.
He's just going to turn to the party and be like, anyone up for a bit of gambling and relieving some stress, and maybe cutting the head off a snake.
Is it wise to cripple half the city when we're looking for allies in the war? Think of the bigger picture.
You must understand, if you walked in there and killed him, you would have a very big target on your back. There are a lot of people that he pays a lot of money to be on his side. It wouldn't be the wisest of ideas. You would be much better off speaking to Lord Taylor first and getting him on side, if that's what your intentions were. At least then he could provide you with as many loyal guards as he could to at least offer you some level of protection.
If we speak to Lord Taylor, then even if a lot of the guards are still in their pocket, the Black Hand, then they're still working. For us, they're still on our side against the greater evil.
The other thing as well to remember, is that these are just the city guard. This isn't an army or anything like that. The main armies of Castle View are actually spread out around smaller outlying villages and towns. They sort of, if needed, they return to their barracks, and there are several of those.
Also, I don't think it will be wise to use as allies mercenaries like the Black Hand, that they are only for gaining money, and I don't see them loyal enough to help us against, and I don't see that they will be loyal to us and to the cause if the evil will give them something better. So I don't think I can trust them as my ally to help me.
What happened to Elantalos when it is a war of extinction and eternal slavery against collaborating with us? I think that maybe we can rely on them having a more enlightened view than we might think at first.
Hey, it's not about helping us. It's about not
Preserving
dying.
your own life. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exact.
I think
Yeah,
what
but
you must remember is if you were to aid the Black Hand in whatever cause they had to overthrow the city, would any army that is, of course, under Lord Taylor's control really going to rally to your side if they know that you've aided in the coup that is the Black Hand?
We don't have to aid them, but we don't have to go straight to war with them before we size up the situation.
Yes. The fence can be a very comfortable place to sit.
It may be the way forwards for the moment.
I would only offer caution. As you can tell from our very brief encounter there, they aren't necessarily the most reasonable people. They want what they want, and they won't be happy until they get it.
True enough, but while dead men tell no tales, their corpses are quite chatty.
I know what you're getting at. Anyway, right. I'm going to go to the Parliament building. I mean, you can come with me if you like. You don't have to, you know.
We should at least seal off this magic shop, make sure nobody else gets their hands on powerful artifacts, potentially.
Okay, well, in that case, I will meet you back at my airship by the end of the day.
Good. Yeah.
Okay. Stay
Cool.
safe.
If nothing else, we should make the portal secure and make sure the doors are as firmly locked and bolted as we can arrange.
Yes.
Well, arriving back at Bartholomew's... What was I called it? What was the name of the actual shop? Bartholomew's Wizardry. Arriving back there, you find a guard on the door. Usual armor for this place. Well, he's just sort of stood there, and he sees you coming. How do you want to proceed?
Good question.
Is it a guard that we've met
That is a
before?
very good question.
It's not a guard you've seen before. No, he's just sort of watching people coming and go in the street, but he sort of sees you, and like when you see someone walking in your direction, you kind of know they want to come to you. It's like that. He's spotted you, and sort of like, yeah, they're definitely coming this way.
Yeah. So,
But he doesn't ready himself. He's not like taking an aggressive stance. Nothing. He's just sort of still stood there, his sort of hands, crossed in front of him.
good morning, Connecticut Guard. Is the shop open this morning?
Good morning, sir. No, this shop is closed, and it'll be closed until we find its owner, and he can answer us why there is blood heading towards his back door, and while we have a few witnesses said they've seen him dragging a body around.
A body, you say? That is quite disturbing news.
I mean, have you
Well-
found a body in there?
No, there's no evidence of bodies, but there's definitely evidence of some kind of occult type rituals going on. There's a very large bowl of blood in the cellar with some strange stone. It looks like a doorway without a door in it.
I mean, occult stuff may be frowned upon, but is it illegal?
After well, I mean, I would have thought you would have known this, but after
I'm clearly not.
what happened
dabbling
before
in
with
magic.
what happened in we've had a ban on anything occult like since the first Demon War. Well, I say the only Demon War.
I'm sorry, I'm not one who's well upon the workings and things of magic.
Well, it's not really the workings of magic. I mean, this is a law that's been in place for eons.
Yeah.
No dark magics could be practiced.
That is a very noble sentiment, and like you say, the first Demon War, the Demon War to end all Demon Wars, was indeed a terrible occurrence. I have studied the history books on it quite a lot. It is good. You say this place is securely guarded and well looked after through the day?
Well, I'm at the front door. My mate's round the back door.
Excellent. It seems that you have everything in hand. That's good news. And the doorway without a door, you have closed that off for now?
Well, it's in the cellar, so we just shut the hatch.
Bolted it, I hope.
No, we just shut it.
I would suggest you don't maybe go down there anytime soon.
Oh, and why is that?
Well, occult things can be dangerous. You don't know what he was trying to achieve, and you accidentally get a bit of your blood or DNA somewhere that it shouldn't be, and boom, anything could happen.
You lot sound awfully knowledgeable about this sort of stuff.
We've been fighting evil a long time.
Hmm.
We are
Yeah.
happy
Through the
to,
rings, Logan just goes, "Good cover up, man."
we are happy to help if you need any help, because we have seen a lot during our adventures. And if you need any help to identify what has happened, we are happy to help you and give you more knowledge.
Well, I mean, it's a crime scene, so I can't really go letting you in. More than
What
my
about-
job's worth, really, but
Well, do you have any leads on where he may be? We could try track him down for you.
we have no idea. He's just disappeared, upped and gone.
Probably he used some kind of magic to disappear. If
He very well could have done.
if if we can have a look, we might be able to identify where maybe what he used and see if we can see where he might have been.
Give him a persuasion check. Can you persuade him to let you help? She's muted again.
Also, I forget to I forget to press a button. I'm saying, can I blink my eyelashes to make him like?
Well, you can blink your eyelashes. Let's see what the roll is.
Let me see. Persuasion.
Advantage for an eye flutter.
No, there is no advantage involved in this.
Go on.
3.
3. He sort of sees you flattering your eyelids at him, and he's like, "Look, it's very nice of you, but unfortunately, this is official business of the city, and I cannot let you go in. So please move on."
Logan
Can
Can I
looks at him
try
and
with
goes,
maybe?
Are you of a different persuasion? And winks at him.
No, I most certainly am not, and my wife will attest to that.
Can
So
I
please,
do a persuasion for it, please?
no, we're not going to do a million persuasion checks until someone hits gold. He
No,
said
that's
no.
Can I roll a persuasion check on you?
No.
Can I maybe try a different tack with him and fix him with my Heart of Darkness stuff from my Haunted One background and let him see the unimaginable horror in my eyes?
That'd be your best. So what, you want to try and threaten him, basically?
No. In the Heart of Darkness, those who look into my eyes see that I have faced imaginable horror and that
Oh,
I'm
is
no
this an
stranger to
ability?
darkness. They might fear me, but commoners will extend me every courtesy and do their utmost to help me, unless
Oh.
I have shown myself to be a danger to them. They might even take up arms to fight alongside me if I should find myself facing an enemy alone.
I didn't realise this was something you could do. Yes, you may certainly try and do that.
Then I should give him the sort of deep pools of darkness stir of the warlock, who has seen unimaginable horrors from the pit of doom, and ask him if maybe he can see any way forwards to helping us to this.
There's no rolls or saves involved. It just happens.
It just says, those who look into your eyes can see that you faced unimaginable horror, and that you're no stranger to darkness. Though they might fear you, commoners will extend you every courtesy and do their utmost to help you. And that's an at-will sort of thing. All they have to do is look into my eyes. Not around the eyes, into the eyes.
Do you know what I was actually thinking of that face that from Little Britain, the people were pulling like, ooh, yeah, okay, yeah. He's like looking into your eyes, and his face sort of drops and goes a bit blank for a while, and he sort of snaps to, and is, yeah. I think you could probably have a little look around if you like. Just don't touch anything, all right? And he sort of reaches around and unlocks the door and The door flings open.
Thank you very much. You shouldn't worry. We will not dare touching anything in there.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
Exactly. Thank you very much.
So
While
we'll
they're
pop
doing
in.
that,
That was
can I excuse myself and just say I want to go and have a look for the fellow? I don't want to go back in there.
Okay. So we'll deal with that one in a moment. Then, so you three go in, and you see the rope still over the beam where the body was. The sort of ritual circle that was drawn on the floor, and then the general mayhem, which is this shop. So stuff is everywhere, piles of papers and books and vials everywhere, and that sort of thing. What would you like to do in the shop? Were you looking for anything specific, or?
I'll just have a quick scout round to make sure nothing exceedingly juicy or dangerous has been left on public display, you know. Or if there's any clues to Bartholomew's identity, that might also be a good thing to turn up.
I'll have a look around for anything that's might be in your Facebook messages.
Oh, you messaged me, have you? Oh, Christ. I don't look at Facebook while we're online.
But how else are we supposed to send you whispers when we want to play tricks on Branchy?
I don't have time for looking at Facebook while we're online.
You can't send Mike messages to like try and weed things in there because he reads them out. He reads aloud.
Oh, actually, I know
I've
I've gotten very good at those. Actually, I've gotten very good at it. Oh God, you sent me links as well.
It's just two.
I know. They don't go above the rarity scale I said earlier, do they?
I think one's uncommon, one's rare.
Yeah, that's fine then. Yeah, so I didn't want to. So full disclosure for anyone watching or listening, I said to these guys, Bartholomew's shop is just a smorgasbord of all sorts of awesome magical stuff. But rather than write out a list of loads of stuff, I said pick anything you want as long as it doesn't go above rare. Because they're not going to put like ridiculously overpowered stuff in it, but they could pick up an item each that they wanted.
Had gone in the shop now.
So they could pick up an item each that they wanted. So Lily's got her ring. Yes, Dan, you can take one of those if you want to.
If I pick up the first one, can I take the second one for Logan?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay,
That's fine.
I'll send you a link.
All items. So whatever you pick up, you won't know what they are. You're just going to think, "Oh, that looks interesting." You will need to get these identified, but you think that looks cool. I'm going to take that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Can I pick up something random that you can surprise me with at some moment in time when I get it identified?
Yes. Also remind me in our group chat. I do need to still supply you with the spells in that wizard's spell book you found in the cultist lair. But yes, you may also take a random item if you like.
Yes. And while we're at it, maybe looking for some clues as to Bartholomew's, etc., would be it.
I think he was probably fairly forthcoming. I think he said last time that he was. There's certainly no autobiographies in here. You may find a diary or a journal where he's written about his experiments. But I think he was fairly forthcoming last time when he just said he was a wizard who took a shine to the occult while he was studying, and he's ever since just been messing around with all this sort of stuff. The journal's quite interesting because you find that he discovered that one way the demons were able, or the invasion from the hell planes was able to take place was cultists of various devils and such were able to take these dwarven gates, which, as we know from a previous episode, in Carnlodia they were used just to transport ore and other things from the depths of the mines to the main levels where they could process them. And then certain other races, the elves, the humans, that they bought some of these gates for the similar purposes, but also to travel from point A to point B much quicker than, say, traveling over land. So he discovered that if he could get his hands on one of these gates, he might be able to use the same sort of summoning practices that were used in the past to perhaps open up his own portal. For whatever nefarious reason or innocent curiosity, we don't know. But he hasn't fully figured it out. He knows that there's blood involved through some sort of like an offering in a great big copper brazier. I think we called it. I don't even think that's the right word for a great big bowl, a metal bowl. But he hadn't quite figured out the correct process, but he's on the right track.
So if the demons use them for the demon wars, am I right in thinking that Zenalaton might have some familiarity with them and where they lead?
The gates.
Mm.
You could probably ask him about the gates if you wanted to.
Maybe
He might know.
Maybe I could sort of take out the little dagger of the cult and sort of just turn a little bit to obscure it and whisper to it, Zenalaton, hello my lord, where are you, Zenalaton? Hello?
As you sort of make that connection across the plains, you sort of hear in your head. Oh, bloody hell, what's going on? Hello? Who's summoning? You woke me up. Oh, it's you. Hello, my mighty champion.
Hello, mighty demon lord. I just wondered, we just came across this little travel gate here, and I wondered if someone so mighty in knowledge as you might know where it leads to.
Well, no. I mean, a travel gate, I suppose. Oh, some sort of teleportation sort of thing, is it? Something like that.
Kind of like, one of the little dwarfy travel gates that may have been used during the last incursion into this realm.
I can't even remember what Xanaton's voice was like now. I think I'm doing it all wrong, but never mind.
I'm sure
He's got a cold.
Venom. That's right, he sounds a bit more like this, doesn't he? Ha ha ha. Oh yes, well, there were some sort of portal gates. I do remember something like that, but I never used one. I never came through. I was stuck here the whole time. I wanted to come to your realm and slaughter, but I wasn't able to. But yes, there were some sort of gates, I believe, that linked your plane to ours.
Yeah, I see. But this particular one you have no knowledge of. It is not within your remit.
Well, let me put it to you this way. We don't have anything like that here. They were sort of portals that were opened up from your side. We couldn't possibly do that. Not from here. That's why Narfiliac was trapped here for so long.
I see. Well, thank you, my lord. And do not think that I have forgotten the sacrifice that you...
Oh, no. I retcon that. Don't worry about that, because that was my mistake. I said he gave you that thing for free, didn't he? You didn't have to do anything for that one. That was my error.
I'll instantly retcon that too. Do not think that I am ungrateful for your advice in this matter, my great lord. And now I must allow you to regain your rest so that you may remain...
No, I must ask. You have come across a way to open a portal.
We may have come across a portal, but we do not know the way.
I believe there is a need for some sinister machinations, incantations to be spoken. Plus, blood. A lot of blood.
Any particular kind of blood?
No, any will do. Just blood. It's what the essence powers the portal to our realm. If you wish to come here. But a different ritual is required to summon from our plane to yours through this portal. Otherwise, it is only one way, from yours to ours, as you are the only ones with the gates.
I see, so the portal is not a two-way door, it is more of a one-way system.
In this instance, yes.
I see.
Unless, as I say, the correct incantations are spoken.
And do you have... Well, of course you have the knowledge of what incantations must be spoken, but could you share the knowledge at some point on the incantations that are needed to have a...
It is long and complicated, and I will have to find a way to impart this knowledge upon you, so that you may recite it.
Yes, as you say, my understanding is so much less than yours, so time must be taken to dilute it for somebody of my capabilities.
My knowledge is also not complete, so what I can tell you, you may have to find another way to fill it in. Otherwise, by now I could have contacted any one of many mortals on your realm to open a gate and let us out. It is a lot of our desires to be free on the material plane rather than this desolate hole that we call home.
I see. Then if I find some clue as to the way, I will of course discuss it with you again, Lord Zenalaton. Thank you for the gift of your knowledge in this instance.
You are welcome, my champion.
I shall let the communication drop at that point, so he can return to his demonic slumbers.
Cool.
Sorry, the number you have called has not been recognized.
Please phone another demon and come back later.
Yeah, I think. It would be too easy otherwise if it was a simple case of they knew how to activate the portals from their side. You're going to have to do some digging. But at least you have an idea.
For me, that is valuable knowledge, that the portal is only openable from this side and is not then a point of weakness from the other side. That is good news for me.
Well, it's a case of the dwarves, obviously, as I say, created these doorways, but they weren't really ever intended for anything more than moving ore from the depths of the mines to the upper levels of, say, Carnlodia. So
I just wanted to be sure that we weren't leaving a gigantic back door into the middle of the city, you know.
No.
For if it was, then it might have been necessary to destroy the portal at this point rather than to leave it under the guard of one guard who is malleable to persuasion, perhaps. So I think, given that we have this journal and the knowledge and the goods that we haven't got, that we could maybe exit and thank the guard for his time and efforts on our behalf.
While you were in there doing that, what about Logan? What were you up to on the outside?
Logan is going to, after like the revelations and things he's gone through, he's needing basically a bit of time, a bit of quiet, and he's actually going to make not a beeline, but a very wandering up and down various streets, you know, not in a straight line, kind of all over the place while he just wanders and thinks, and head up towards the church.
Okay. The closer you get, I mean, this is on the well, do you know what? It's on the other side of the city, this church. It's going to take you a while to get there. So,
it's just so you've got a rough idea of where I'm going. Very wandering.
It's up to you if you
and let these other guys carry on whilst I'm sort of milling.
Let me put it, I mean, they're probably in the shop for maximum half an hour just mooching around. It's going to take you a lot more than half an hour to cross the vastness of this city. Yeah. So it's up to you if you waited for them or if you are literally just going to go, no, I'm going there without any warning.
He needs his space and his time right now. So I'll let you come back to me when an appropriate time limit has passed.
Okay, that's fine. So guys, you leave the shop.
Can I ask something?
Yeah.
Does Lily see anything else while the others are looking?
Well, I kind of wanted to limit it to one item each because.
Okay.
Yeah, otherwise, I mean, you could literally stock up on the DMG.
I know, that's.
Yeah. Okay. No, we're not going to do that.
I had to try.
I think you'd probably only have enough time to really maybe grab one thing because the guard isn't stupid. He's like, "Come on now, you've been in there long enough." And when you leave, you notice Logan's nowhere to be seen, but he might say, "What did you find? Did you uncover anything? Anything that might help?"
Well, we know that he left a mess behind, and the powers inside are definitely occult. We definitely recognize them as occult. You must guard this shop and ensure that it is kept safely. We do not want innocent people walking in and out of this place.
No, we don't want anybody coming in and out of this place either. All right, well, thanks for your help.
Can I just ask you, if the owner doesn't return to the premises, what's the protocol for ownership of the property? Would it go on sale or?
Well, at the moment he's wanted, so hopefully we'll find him and we'll bring him to justice for. Well, I'm presuming he's guilty of this murder, of course, which he apparently is. But whether we find him or we don't find him, I don't know. Yeah, it'll become property of the city. There'll be people of higher powers than myself, and they'll figure out what to do with the contents and then probably sell the building.
Okay, well, I'll be interested to know when that goes public, if possible.
Oh, it'll be held in one of the town meetings.
Of course,
they'll discuss it then.
Cool. Okay. Well, thanks for the info.
That's all right. What do you three want to do? I said Logan's buggered off.
What do you
I
think,
split
Keenan?
the party.
Should we call him on the mobiles?
Um,
On our handies?
Mine handy.
you know Logan better than I do because you know him longer. So I'm not quite sure. Do you think he needs some time for himself because he was a bit in a shock, or do you think that it would be better for us to go and find him and see if he needs any, to talk with us or he needs?
Truly, I do not know. I do not know about you, Keenan, but for me, I am accustomed to Logan changing his mind 3 times while having a wee. So, I do not know this more thoughtful, introspective chap with the gigantic oversized letter opener
Yes.
as well. Maybe we should leave him to his own devices for a while, but maybe in an hour or two call him on the handies and try and make sense so he's not left feeling isolated and alone too much,
I think I agree with that. He's always got a plan or some sort of driving force. It's kind of weird to see him meandering so aimlessly, but we'll give him his time, and as Walter says, check up on him, make sure he's okay in a while.
Okay.
I presume then you might either go to a pub and we'll leave you there, or perhaps if you wanted to, you could go off and find someone with some other kind of magic shop. And I mean, there will be more than just this one. There'll be people who sell potions or other magic items, who are more above board than what Bartholomew was. And they could probably, if you want to spend a little bit of money, identify those items so that
Yeah, I think that will be, since we have some time, I think and we found these items, maybe it's a good idea to find somebody to identify them.
So we'll say that you go off and just sort of wander around, particularly around the area where the shops are most prominent, and try and just find someone. Maybe you speak to a couple of people local to try and identify which direction you might want to go in. I don't know off the top of my head how much identification is. I'm going to say you've each got an item, so that's 4 items. I don't know, 50 gold an item to identify it from someone who could identify. So some sort of magic adept person. So what's that? That's 200 gold in total for 4 items. But we'll, if someone wants to mark that off and say that's going on in the background, we'll go back to Logan. So after a good while, maybe you sort of speed things up. You catch a ride on someone's horse. I mean, there's like horse-drawn carts, that can take you to places like taxis, basically,
tuk-tuks.
to get from like tuk-tuks, to get from point A to point B a little bit quicker, because it is a big place. As you come in closer to this this church, the area sort of opens up. It's like I suppose it's a bit like when you look at the Vatican. It's great big open paved areas, great in this huge white building. Looks somewhat like a modern cathedral, like what you might see. I don't know, in Bath or something like that. Or, the great big. I suppose Gothic's not the right word for it, but you know what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
The pillars and all the architecture and all that sort of. And as you approach, you see people in sort of like monks' habits and that sort of thing, and they're all wearing different tabards of different symbols. One is of a. Let me find my notes for it, so I'm giving you the right information rather than just trying to make it up as I go along. You got symbols like a blazing sun on a tabard. Other ones are a swirl or a wave on a clamshell. There's hammers and anvils, and there's other icons as well, which you may or may not be familiar with. But those are the three most prominent ones. And yeah, I mean, I presume you want to go into the building, or you want to? What do you want to do?
So you've got like this semi-walled courtyard, and then the big sort of main building.
No. I mean, it's not particularly walled. It's just the way I'm describing it is like it's a great big open area.
Right.
This area.
So does this
and there
place have,
are
like, gardens, graveyards.
there
or
are
just houses
gardens.
around,
Yeah,
Or is it trees? What's the?
you got gardens around. It's like a circle, like a big circular area. There's gardens around, but the main area in the middle is just this nice open paved area, perhaps a few benches, big building in the middle, with a few steps going up to a doorway between columns. But there's people everywhere. There's people just sort of like stood talking. Others seem to be praying. And not all of them are obviously dressed in religious clothing. Some are regular folk, just going about their business. Some are worshippers, just your everyday people. But you gather the people with the tabards are probably religious people involved in this, whatever's going on in this building.
Is there any sort of visible seniority, or are they all just kind of monk-looking dudes?
No, there's nothing. You can't see anyone that's particularly senior. They all look very uniform.
Sorry, I just saw chat. Right. So, I'm gonna go in and go up to the guy that had the sun tabard thing.
You're going into the building, or you just only because I'll describe what the inside looks like if you're going
in the
in.
grounds?
Yeah, there's loads of people like with sun emblazoned on their tabards.
Just one of them.
Okay.
I just want to approach one of them and sort of sheepishly, like, excuse me.
Yeah, I mean, he's just wandering about, maybe with a book in his hand or something. He just looks at you. Hello. How can I help you? Are you here? Are you here to worship our Lord Pelor, or perhaps offer praise to any one of the other deities here?
I'm looking for someone who can potentially, I believe the terms, absolve some sins.
Okay.
I was
Well,
never raised
any
a
one of
religious
us,
man, so I don't really know how this goes.
any one of us can listen to your problems and offer you advice.
Are you a pure and honest man? Is what I say safe?
I am a priest of Pelor. I'm honest.
Could we? I have quite a lot to confess and talk about and get off my chest, but like I say, I wasn't raised in any of this. Can we perhaps walk where it's a bit more private in the grounds or something?
Yeah, I mean, it's you won't find much privacy in the grounds, I'm afraid. There are people coming and going, worshippers, other clergy. There are, of course, people just passing us by.
One second, sorry.
And he's just sort of stood there and looking at Logan, wondering what is going on.
Sorry, my children need me for a second. So
My
he's
people
gonna
need
go walking with this guy. Although it's not the most private place, maybe he kind of wants to divert towards the gardeny tree-ish area. At least some semblance of privacy, if that makes sense.
Okay.
He's like, I don't really know where to start. I've recently learned information that's changed not just a lot in my life, but a bit of an outlook. And I've never been, I've not necessarily been a dishonest person, but I've grown up, and since the earliest I can remember, I've killed people to live and fought and stole and robbed and just done nothing but hurt others.
My son, the Lord of Light, will of course wash over you with a cleansing light
I'm not sure exactly
and absolve you of your sins.
how this works, like I've put forward many times, but
You must head back to the temple.
mm-hmm.
Go to Pelor's statue and offer your prayers. I'm sure he will hear you, and you will feel his warmth.
So he's going to look at this guy literally with, like, you know, where tears are like brimming the bottom of his eyes but not spilling out. And he's going to have, as he was talking, he's going to have kind of walked with him and sort of guided him towards these, like I was saying, the big trees and areas. And he's just going to look at him and put his hand on his shoulder and go, "Thank you for all you've done. And I'm truly sorry for everything I've done." And at that moment, he's just going to and slit his throat.
Ooh. Okay, well,
the idea is he's going to try and sort of slink him down to the base of the tree so he looks like he's sitting.
I'm going to make a check. You do a sleight of hand because, you know, you're not completely out of public notice.
No, I was trying to get as private as possible, but within reason.
Yeah, that's fine. Well, try and beat mine and we'll see.
Oh, God. That doesn't sound good for whatever you just rolled. So, with modifiers, 23. It's strong.
You sort of, as you're doing this, you kind of, you know, you are looking about to make sure that it's safe, and perhaps one or two people do pass near this sort of. The gardens are only like apple trees, so they're not particularly big, but there are bushes and stuff. But you manage to just do it quiet enough that this guy, yeah, as you say, he maybe falls onto your shoulder and you just help him to the ground. Yeah. And he just looks up at you in absolute horror. Absolute horror.
Like, I want to literally have, I don't know how to describe, but have a face on him where he knows that it's not something I wanted to do, if that makes sense. Like, I am not doing it. It's just...
Yeah. Whatever face you pull, he is in absolute horror and disbelief as he bleeds out.
Then I'm going to not run, because it was sort of pre-planned. I'm going with the fact of trying to not get myself covered in blood, slink him down so he looks like he's just sort of resting against this tree. And I want to.
You will have blood on you because, like I say, you would have had to sort of cradle him a bit, and it will be down your front.
Well, it shouldn't look too out of place with who I am. But I wouldn't run out of there, but I want to leave, obviously.
I'm not entirely sure there's very many bloody-looking people roaming around the city, to be honest.
To be fair, I do stand out a little bit, but I would like to leave it without... I don't want to, like, rush out, but I want to just, like, leave. Walk out as if... Try and sort of... as if nothing's happened.
Is your next goal to head back to the rest of them?
Via some form of bakery, food shop, something like that.
Okay. I'm assuming you just want to buy food.
The intent is to, as far as they are aware, I went on a wander and cleared my head a bit, and I've brought them back some
Cookies.
cookies. That kind, something along those lines.
Covered
Well,
with blood.
let's take 5 minutes. 'Cause we didn't do it last time, and I almost burnt out. So let's take 5 minutes, and then we will reconvene and deal with this.
Yeah, this hopefully will work
Yes.
out, but we'll be right back, guys.
Go, go, go.
Welcome back to Season 2, Episode 19, Part 2 of Vaybaba. And if you were here a second ago, you heard that some strange crap has gone down, and Logan is probably going to get in a lot of trouble, but I will hand you over to Mike, and we'll see what happens.
Yes, Captain Downface has disappeared for the moment, but that's okay. Yeah, so given a bit of time, we have basically the party come back together. I'm going to say you've probably retired to the pub. Which one was it? Just for it's going to be mid-afternoon now by the time Logan catches up. And I'm going to say you've probably gone there. You had a bit of lunch, got and it was the Howling Spirit.
Mm-hmm.
You've been there enough. I think Logan would probably put 2 and 2 together and think, yeah, I'll just go there. It must be there. You've identified your items, so hopefully you've marked off 200 gold. You have got Lily. What was it you had? The ring of.
Let me. Sorry, I have put it here. The ring of free.
Free
Yeah.
actions. Yep. Voltaire, I'm guessing you haven't. You're undecided at the moment.
I'm going for the whatever it is of surprisiness that you think Walter could make something useful of. Just
We will.
I'm leaving it in the DM's wheelhouse for
Okay.
choice, you know.
I will have a look at that, and then next week we'll announce to the world what it was that you decided to go with.
Sorry.
Hello, welcome back. We're just going over magic items, just announcing it.
Sorry.
And what was it you picked up? You picked up. So you had the rod, the immovable rod, and iron bands of binding. So they've all been identified. As I said, we'll next week I'll announce to the world what Walter picked up, because I haven't actually looked yet. You're in the Howling Spirit because it's, like I said, it's a bit of a place you all know, and bringing the group back together, I think you'd naturally perhaps gravitate there. And it is mid-afternoon, so you've probably had lunch and such. Logan arrives, and the most obvious thing is you do notice there is blood on him. Probably from his shoulder and then streak down across his breastplate. And I hand it back to you. It's a fairly busy pub. It's, people drinking and eating. Yeah.
Logan, are you alright? What is this blood? What happened?
I'm absolutely fine, honestly. Everything earlier today came as a bit of a shock. You know me, I usually deal by having a scrap, and we couldn't do that with the guys we met earlier, those Black Hand people. So I just needed to clear my air. I went for a walk, and the smell of pastries and freshly baked bread hit me. So by then I got hungry, bought some, and tried to come back, bring it to you guys, and here it is. But on the way back, the little street urchins decided that because there were several of them and only one of me, they decided they wanted to take all the breads and things. So a small scrap and a bloodied nose later, and here I am with some fresh bread for you. It's still warm.
Alright.
Can I do an insight check?
Yeah.
You son of a
Yeah.
bitch.
Absolutely.
You
Oh,
just beat me to that one, I think.
that's a 9.
He seems pretty honest.
I mean, my performance comes up at 18.
Yeah, I think you probably seem fairly
Okay, okay.
honest to him, really.
Well, I hope you showed them what for.
I did. I
I'm
felt a
glad
little
you
bad
did that.
afterwards, so I did give them a piece of bread. I mean, they must have been hungry. Where did you lot get up to? Did you find anything at with the shop? Did you find the Bartholomew?
We didn't find Bartholomew. He's still on the run, but it turns out that the guard is guarding the shop. They know about the evils within, so they know it's important that nobody goes in and tampers with it. And we had a look inside. I found this for you. You might find it of use. It's apparently some iron bands of holding or something.
Oh, iron bands of binding.
Binding, that's the one.
When we were young and the people used to come into the pits, the master used to have something very similar, and he'd use it to bind those who wouldn't fight. You can't refuse to fight there. You either fight or got beat. So I've seen these before, but I never thought I'd hold them myself. I've been bound by them before. So, but this is
Well, then
great. We could use this at some
familiar.
point. These are brilliant. And how much were these?
These were just what we picked up. You know, we didn't want it.
A man after my own heart. I thank you, and he pats you on the shoulder and passes you one of the warm cob things.
Nom, nom, nom.
Is that how you eat it? Om nom nom.
Oh, nom, nom. Sorry, upper class
Well,
eating.
While you're all sort of sat here discussing, the door opens to the pub, and the rather well-dressed gentleman that you met in the alleyway earlier steps in, and everyone sort of looks, as they do anyone walking through the door, they sort of look, and the whole place just goes completely silent, and he sort of surveys the room, and he spots you, and he comes over, and he waves at the bar, and very quickly the barmaid brings over a glass of whiskey, or some sort of spirit, and places it on your table as he's making his way, and then he takes a seat with you all. Well, this is very cozy, isn't it?
Do we know him?
He was one of the ones that
earlier.
Yeah, he was one of the ones that was like harassing.
Oh, from the Black Hand. Okay.
Tommy himself.
Yeah. Very cozy, very cozy.
Would you like some bread? It's freshly baked.
No, I've just eaten, thank you.
Oh, what can we do for you then?
Well, you all seem to know Miss Glory Weaver well. Perhaps you could arrange for her to pay what she owes. Of course, we can make it very much worth your while. Things don't have to get any bloodier than what they need to, looking at Logan.
I mean, it sounds more like a threat than you're making it worth our while.
Well, it will be a threat if you don't agree to help us.
So what's
I
in it
don't
for
think
us?
we need to make any pointed arguments here.
I didn't hear what Branch said then.
No, go on, it's alright.
He damn well interrupted me. No,
Where were we? Yeah. Where were we? What did I say?
carry on, Logan. I did not quite hear what you
Completely
were
threw me off
saying.
now.
I was like, it doesn't sound like you're being very fair, wanting everything for nothing other than to stop a little bit of trouble. And he's just going to sort of munch on his bread and nonchalantly move between Posh Guy and the door.
Well, all we want is what we're due. I've lost the accent now. All we want is what we're due.
I appreciate that, but what's that
You can
got to do
help.
with us?
Well, you obviously know Miss Glory Weaver. Perhaps you're in her favour enough you could convince her to give us what we're due. If you are willing to help us out on this, then, perhaps we could help you in whatever endeavours it is you have here in the city.
Do you know what I find strange, though?
What's that?
you are saying how powerful you are and how control of the city you've got and how, fearsome you are. And it seems as if you're asking our help to get your money back. How come can you not do it yourself?
Because this would be the easy way, my lady. If you know her and you have sway with her, then perhaps you could convince her without us having to do it. Because if we have to do it, things will get ugly very quickly.
Is it
If
that?
anyone's facing the posh guy in front of him, because I've gone between him and the door, you'd see a look on Logan that's very much a fiery, pissed off look right now.
Tell us your side of the story. Why does she owe you money? What happened?
Well, as far as we're concerned, she stole a bounty from us. We assigned her a contract to go kill someone. She was supposed to take some money from them once the job was done, and we'd take a split. She'd keep some for her troubles, and we'd keep the rest. That's how business works. But she never returned. We assumed she's taken all the money.
Have you ever tried to listen to her point from for
Well,
this for
today is the first time we've seen her since she disappeared.
Yes, but have you ever actually, even though you saw her today, have you actually tried to ask her why she didn't come back and not threaten her straight away?
No, we haven't asked her. Our assumption is, well, I say our assumption, we know the job was done. The person we wanted dead turned up dead. We know that she was there and the money was gone. And then she never returned. So, what does that look like?
No,
Guilt to
no,
me.
it looks like to me that you have made up your mind without asking the person who you think is responsible for that. And you are asking her to give you back the money without even knowing if what happened is true. Because a lot of the times, what we see, it's not always what has actually happened.
You
And
start
I'm
to see.
sure I'm sure a powerful organization like you are not so fools not to actually investigate the facts and see what is real and what is not.
You start to see like his eye, like the bottom eyelid starts like um, twitching. You can almost see like he's visibly getting quite enraged. He says,
You
"Listen, this is
you
not a system of justice or crime. I don't know what you want to call it, but this is how we do things. All right. There's
I
no.
do no, I do understand that, and I'm not trying to be difficult here. I'm just trying to give you another point of view because we might know what happened because she might have told us. But if you don't actually check your facts, you're not going to be able to understand if that was true or not. And you can easily check your facts using also magical means to see if she's lying or not. There are ways. It's
We
not
are not
always.
some sort of organisation of wizards. And he downs the thing and slams the glass on the
I.
table.
But I'm sure if you're so powerful as you say, you must have people who are able to help you in that. I'm not.
He
I'm
just,
not trying to be difficult, or I'm not trying.
he just stops you. He just
Can
he
I hold
just
an action?
stands up. He stands. Hang on. He stands up and he looks down. And goes, "I'm not interested in your chat. This isn't some kind of democracy where you get to, you know, get the facts. All right. She owes us money. That is the fact. She hasn't delivered.
But
I and my associates want the money. That is it. Do this for us, or there's
have
going to
you
be
ever?
problems." He just turns and he
Wait,
goes.
wait,
He
wait,
he
wait.
barges
Oh no
past
no! Wait
Logan.
wait! He
Can I not do
cannot
my
leave.
action that I was saying?
Oh, he can leave.
Can I not take my action? That's why I went between them.
Okay, well he barges like shoulder barges you. He's not interested. He's yeah. But what do you want to do?
I want to use my item that I've just been received. That's why I went between
Okay.
him and the door. So, let me just roll. 18, 19, 20, 23 to hit.
Yeah, that'll hit him, yeah.
Right, so he's restrained until I say a magical word now, and he's just on the floor in iron bands.
When you say restrained, he means just handcuffed.
No, fully restrained, covered. His body's covered in iron bands.
Oh, okay.
So he's like, well, maybe it is a time we can ask questions and get answers right now. And Logan puts.
He just
is there
looks
a
at
latch
you.
or anything on the door that I could put on?
No, it'd be a normal lock or perhaps a bolt, but it's a pub full of people and they're all looking at you horrified. He just sort of rolls as he can to his side and
I thought we
spits.
were in a room.
No, you're in a pub. He spits at you. He's like, you think this is going to fucking get you anything? All it's going to get you is your fucking head on a platter. You better untie me now.
I mean, if my head's on a platter and I'm the only one who can undo these bands, you're stuck for life, mate.
Don't try and get fucking smart. Get me out of these bands now. It's
Well,
going to be for your own benefit.
Let's go talk somewhere more private. He's going to grab one of the iron bands and try and take him up to the room.
Well, you probably won't be able to lift him.
Yeah, I will
Superman.
help Logan. I'm helping Logan to take him upstairs.
How many people are in the bar?
Oh, a lot. Like 30, 40 people, and they are just horrified at what the fuck you've just done.
Oops.
Uh,
Typical me there. I thought we were in a private room.
Even the person behind the bar is just like, what the fuck? What are you doing? You are going to bring all sorts of trouble here.
You know what we said about the fence being a good place to sit, you two? Hmm? Do you remember this morning? Do you? Before lunch, sit on the fence, don't rile anybody till we find out what's going on.
Right, at this point, we
you're
had gone
done,
into
you.
the pub, up to our room.
No.
And
He
had
came to the
into
table.
our room, not in the table.
No, he came to the
I
table
thought it was just us in
where
a
you
room.
were. No, he came to the table where you were and summoned a drink. And the barmaid, he just looks at the barmaid and goes, you better fucking tell these idiots to get me out of these bands now. Otherwise your pub's going to fucking suffer too. And she's like, please, just get him out of here. Get him out and let him go. Please, I beg you.
Logan's going to look at the rest of the party and just see what they have to say.
We need to get him out. Let's just get him somewhere quiet for now, I guess.
Yes.
Let us pick our battlegrounds another way, not in the middle of the bloody pub.
Let's go somewhere quieter. I'm sure we can find a solution between us. With him.
Are you leaving him restrained?
No, yes, to take him with us.
Take him. I'll be 1 minute. I just need to sort the kids. But yeah, for now, restrained.
Okay. If you're leaving him restrained, he'll just turn to the barmaid and says, if you don't get these fucking idiots to let me go, you are going to regret it. She's just pleading with you. Obviously, we need Branch, but she's just pleading with you. Please, let him go, please.
We will. You don't need to worry. We will.
No, I do worry, and you need to do it now. You need to let him go.
I think in this case I must concur, but I am only one voice amongst four. So there will be other times and other places for this discussion with him. This was not the way.
He turns back. I mean, he's looking at you guys. So, what's your plan? You don't let me go. You're going to walk out of this pub. You don't know what's outside that door waiting for you. If I don't walk out of here, nor do you.
You make a very, very persuasive argument, my friend, but we just seek the knowledge of the one person who can actually release you from your bonds, who sadly seems dumbstruck by the very notion of letting you go, and does not seem able to speak the magic words at this present moment in time. So some kind of filibustering sort of speechifying must carry on until maybe he gets back to his damn chair and sits down and releases you. But apart from that, maybe you would like some kind of wurst or sauerkraut while you're waiting. So we could maybe order you something.
We need some elevator music, don't we?
Maybe some wurst, a shave and a haircut. I could do your laundry while you're sat there. Bit of prestidigitation.
Tell me about your family. If you got any siblings.
So how long have you been having this feeling of murderous rage?
Mike, while they are talking with him and everybody is like occupied with everything that's happening, I want to go somewhere that I am a little bit obscured, and I want to activate my ring of invisibility.
You're probably going to find that quite difficult because like the whole place is just looking at you.
Is there a toilet?
I think people might find it a bit strange that this is all going on. Everyone's staring at you, and you're quickly like, "I'm just going to go for a quick shit. I'll be back in a minute."
You can't escalate an argument and then nip off to Zakazi, you know.
Yeah, I mean, if you want
you
to
can.
break and just be like, I'll be right back. I guess.
So the two people who wanted him tied up are now going to leave the two people who are completely dumbfounded to deal with the situation.
I'm not going to leave. You just want to check something.
Here he comes. Here he comes.
Walking down the street, he gets the funniest looks from everyone he meets.
I mean, look, you're in this situation where you've got this guy that's bound. The entire building is looking at you. I mean, if you want to literally go, I'm just going to go over here. I don't think you're going to be sneaking away. I don't mean that everyone's looking at you, but
okay.
So Logan, what we've got to is the barmaid is pleading. He said that it's going to cause no end of trouble for the pub if you don't let him go, and you don't know what's waiting for you outside the door if he doesn't walk out, nor do you.
I know. So,
we need a big speech to the pub, like, too long have we been oppressed.
We've been giving big speeches while we're waiting for you to come back with a filibustering. Fills a gap in airtime because you forgot to put it on a 2-minute break, you fool.
Okay, so what's people's thoughts?
Well, I offered to his laundry with prestidigitation while he was waiting for the one person who could actually release him to come out of his stupor and release him.
I mean, the whole room is silent as well. You could hear like a pin drop, waiting for your decision on what you're going to do.
It's a slightly hostile audience, let's say.
I'm hearing a lot of description and no suggestions right now.
I might over the ring. I might have a way out of this. Vaguely still on the fence.
I was thinking are we not in need of some blood?
Through the rings, I said, do you remember the whole stay neutral until we know what's going on in the damned city line that we took not an hour ago? I know you were off in a bit of a funk and a bit of a fog.
But slightly past this due to everything that's gone on today. I wasn't thinking straight and believed we were alone.
You could maybe... Have you got no eyes, man? You're on the ground floor of the pub in the middle of the damn tap room. Anyway, it is fine, but, you know, maybe if you apologized most sincerely and let him go, it might have... But what has Keenan got to say? He has a way out of it. Let him tell us the way.
If we can intimidate them enough, if we can make them believe that we're here for a greater cause than their petty squabbles, then maybe we can still walk away from this.
He's just sort of there on the floor. I need your decision now.
I think someone else should be the diplomat here. I'm merely the captor.
Also,
we can see I'm not the best at reasoning.
Look, you buffoons. My patience is running thin.
Okay, I can try.
Let me out, or I'm going to escalate this now.
I say over the rings, all of you, if you've got any abilities that can make you look impressive and powerful, do them now. Not harmful ones, but do them now. And I cast my fucking whatever it's called, where I get the big celestial like wings out the back. Mm-hmm. And my eyes start glowing the golden colour. And I just sort of turn to the entire pub. And I'm like, we are here for a greater cause than your petty squabbles. We don't care about who owes who what in this town. We are here to warn you of a great coming evil. We will let this man go. We do not mean him harm, but he needs to stop bothering us.
And you see from like the corner of the room, maybe a couple of like, maybe one or two of these priests that Logan had seen earlier flop on the floor. I prostrate myself before you, angels, angels.
At this point, I'd grow 3 feet in height, and my skin would erupt in what looks like veins. My veins basically look like flames and fiery runes.
Cool.
I can maybe add in the shower of sparks sort of shooting out from Keenan while he's giving his speech for the prestidigitatory sparks. Just harmless sparks, non-fiery things. I'm not setting the pub alight unlike Logan would do. But, maybe just, the sparking sort of vision of angelic goodness giving the speech with the...
So this speech, what is the intention?
Also,
Are you trying to scare the Black Hand guy, or?
Also, I'm transformed in a fire elemental and
Ooh.
trying to intimidate.
Nice. Pretty much just to intimidate and to let them know that we are not to be trifled with, and if maybe they were to tangle with us, they might think twice about it. But
let's have a group intimidation check on this guy then.
Is that all of us rolling?
All of you rolling.
Average?
Yeah, you all roll, and it'll all go towards the final.
Oh yeah.
Tally.
16 for me.
Intimidation. 22 for me.
13 for me.
13 for me.
That's it. Pretty much at that point, doesn't really matter what corpse rolls. Yeah, you're all, in the realms of pass. So yes, he sort of just he's looking at you, and what's this supposed to scare me or something? Supposed to stop us? Is it? Right. Fine. We go, and I won't report this back to the rest of them. And perhaps we'll leave Harriet alone for now.
He just gives a sideways glance to the rest of the party quickly. See if they make any sort of...
Yeah, I'll give you a nod.
Thing. Right.
Yeah.
He speaks this sort of word of power that he's heard from the pits when he was younger, and the bands let go and then contract back into a ball and fly back to his hand.
Cool. And he gets up and straightens up his clothes, and he looks around the bar and he says, all of you lot in here, you didn't fucking see anything. Anyone. If I hit anything, you're dead. And he walks back out the door. But he's gone. And the woman behind the bar goes, oh my God, seriously, you can't go around bringing that kind of trouble to people's establishments. All of you, you're barred. Get out. Now.
Whilst we're still all flaming and big and...
Yes,
Get
I don't
out
think...
of my pub. You're all barred.
Get out of my pub.
Daniel, Logan.
I'll call the
like
guards.
the worst.
He's
right.
Logan's gonna walk over to the barmaid and put down some gold coins, just to be like, apologies for the trouble, and then he'll leave. He'll leave happily.
She's just looking at you. She's like, she's disgusted at what you've done. She's really not impressed.
I genuinely 100% thought we were in a secluded room. Right, I guess we're not staying here tonight, guys.
Well, no, you were going back to the
airship thing.
The airship anyway, so
you stayed before, so we didn't have a room in this pub.
I may suggest that we have a lookout wherever we go and sleep for a few nights.
That sounds wise. I can't do this for another 24 hours or so.
Yeah, me neither. I can do some other things, but nothing quite as good as this.
You might as well make the most of it now. You got your wings out. I mean, you can fly around for it.
Yeah,
I can't remember how long we said it was for.
I'm not sure if I should stay as an elemental form until we go somewhere safe.
Well, if you want to, I mean, obviously the intention is here. They don't want you in the building anymore. So I mean, if you want to, you can skip ahead to back to the ship and talking to Harriet, having some dinner and all that kind of thing, making plans for the next.
Yeah, I think we should
adventure.
relay what happened to Harriet. That might help a little bit.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, going back there, you'll talk to her, and yes, you'll, they'll bring on some food, and that you're sat in the nice sort of loungy bit of the boat, and you're all there eating and drinking, and yeah, you can tell her that this happened in the pub, and you went back to Bartholomew's shop and what you saw there. And she said, "Oh, this is bad. You really shouldn't go around winding up and intimidating the Black Hand."
I mean, you did say they weren't too much of an issue.
Well, not one on their own, no, but
he was one on his own.
Yes, but the consequences of that one on his own being, well, I suppose harassed by you. I mean that won't sit too well with the rest of the family.
First.
Stop picking small details. You still did that to him. If he tells the rest of the family, you have an entire city's worth of guard almost that could come down on you. You can't fight them all. It's not just the family.
As you will have noticed in the pub that we are now barred from with its delicious wurst, you will have noticed that there were people who are sympathetic to his views. There will be people like that in the city. We cannot kill half the city just to keep you happy, Logan. And I think you are still muted.
I think, to be fair, if we were in a more secluded location, then that might have been a way forward.
If you were in a secluded place and you killed him and nobody was to witness that, then of course you would get away with it. They wouldn't know who to blame, and so they would have lost a family member. To do it in public, you're just painting targets on your backs.
It's the main tap room of one of only 3 pubs in the bloody city that we know, and the only one we can afford to eat in that's any good and isn't run directly by the Black Hand is not the best place to pick a fight.
Oh, don't worry, Walter. There's many pubs in the city. I know you might only know a handful at the moment, but do tell me, Logan, this blood upon your breastplate, how did that come about?
He regales the same tale he told to the group sort of an hour or so earlier about.
She is going to make a perception check.
Oh God!
Not perception. What's it called? What's the other one I'm thinking of? Not perception at all. Insight.
My performance is only a 14.
Logan.
Yes.
Do you not think that I do this job and cannot tell when someone is lying to me? What is the truth of it?
There's been 32 years of my life before finding you and discovering I've got someone, family, basically. And some things are best left unsaid in order to not break what's only just begun.
Do you think I am an idiot, a fool, someone you can just sit there and lie to?
I'm not lying to you. I just said it's best left unsaid.
The mark upon your hand. You think I hadn't noticed?
He rapidly pulls his sleeve down. I was like, what?
I don't know what it is, but it doesn't look good. And then the blood upon your breastplate. And little birds have whispered to me. Somebody in the north of the city found murdered today.
How were they murdered?
Apparently they had their throat cut.
I mean, that's definitely not my style. You can ask these guys, and he pulls out his massive, humongous, 5-foot sword.
There really isn't room in here for waving around great swords. It's only a little cabin.
He just presents it then, rather than swings it around. Oh God! I really need to learn my surroundings better.
Oh, Jesus.
It's my love life.
So let's just.
Don't.
It's not like mine, mate.
Present.
Staying on,
There it is.
on the subject,
Favour.
children. She says, let's look at the facts, Logan. I can tell you're not being particularly forthcoming. There is blood on you. Things you don't wish to disclose. And a murder all in the same day. Not only that, causing trouble with the Black Hand. Things aren't adding up here.
I mean, what do you expect? You drop everything on me after 34 years. I've nothing. And suddenly I've got a family. I've got responsibilities. I'm fighting for the world. Stress gets to people, all right?
It's not an excuse for
It's
any
not
kind
an
of ill
excuse.
behaviour. Anyway, I'm sure the truth will come out eventually. All things do. In the meantime, I do happen to have an audience for you tomorrow with Lord Taylor.
Can I
He
just
will
say,
see you.
I should not be the one to talk to him.
Yep.
Can I just say I'm casting silence on you before we go anywhere?
So I suggest perhaps we eat our meal, we have a few glasses of wine, and retire for the evening. And I will have to have my men on high alert just in case there's any repercussions from the Black Hand during the evening.
Yeah. And maybe I should clean off your soiling, Logan, and prestidigitate away the blood a little bit.
He looks a bit sort of sheepish while you do that. Stop it.
Brr.
I wasn't going to say anything about your haircut.
Well,
I mistimed it because of stream delay. I saw you drinking and I thought I'd try and make you laugh, but obviously there's a little delay on things because I'm watching on that rather than the actual chat. Damn it!
Yeah. So, is there anything? I mean, if you want to take this time to discuss stuff, whatever you want to do, it's a bit of downtime now.
Should we have a chat and decide what we want to say to the Lord that we are meeting tomorrow rather than just going there and
Winging it.
yeah.
Yeah, having a plan might be a good idea.
Yeah.
Some sort of glue for Logan's mouth might be appropriate. I don't know.
I think
I'm a
it's
little
probably
hot-headed.
Maybe you could go in there with some sort of sticky toffee on the go or something.
I mean, you all know me. It's me. I can't change overnight.
Yet in some ways you appear to have done so. But you're right, we should make allowances for your past and your nature, but
I mean,
please,
my past and my nature
try.
does come into it, but journeying with a friend who keeps secrets such as your family's not dead, who you believe to be trusted, it gets
was
to you a
not
little bit.
It was not my secret to give.
Maybe not, but imagine it the other way around.
It was my secret to give?
No, if it was me to you.
If you have knowledge and you're holding it for my own good so it can come out at the right times, then so be it. It must be done the way it must be done. I can hold no anger towards you for your actions. You know,
No
you are
anger.
forgiven them
I
all.
was 100. I am not angry. I was just. It was a day of. I don't know. I was numb today, like every other day. But I wasn't thinking straight after everything that's happened. It all came very much at once, and it was a big shock.
Then let us put the events of this very day behind us and have a fresh start in the morning.
I agree.
New dawn, new day, and all that sort of thing.
Okay. Well, if there's anything else, otherwise, yeah.
I'm just gonna read my demon book a little bit more in the downtime, just
Bed
in
down,
case
yeah.
we need to.
Okay.
Try and finish it off a little bit, I got 2 more days to go until I reach the last chapter and find out who done it.
Do we want to decide who is going to talk to the Lord and what we're going to say?
Hmm.
Oh, pardon me.
Sorry, Lily, what was that again? I missed.
I'm just asking, should we decide who is going to talk with the Lord and what we're going to say?
I mean, if
Hi,
we've got no
you Lord.
takers, I could try.
No.
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 We will find.
It's fine. I believe there was a shit-throwing granny in another city we could maybe summon ahead of you.
I think Harriet probably just is like, she's not listening in to everything you're saying. She's sat there with you. Really, obviously you know what you need to tell him about raising an army.
Yeah.
I wouldn't offer my own.
Gra-
I wouldn't offer myself to do it because I don't know the exact amounts as you do. But
I think maybe the two of us, maybe Walter and I, should talk to him because we are both. It is also actually our cause. This is why we're going there. They are our families and our houses there.
Can I just ask Harriet, with her sort of little birds, bits of influence, bits of knowledge, does she know if the Black Hand hold any current sway over the Lord?
oh no,
Is he
they
sort
have
of
no
straight and
power
proper?
over him. They have no power. That's why they want his position. They have no power over him.
Well, that'd
All
be a
they can do is
preference.
keep winning influence with other people and eventually have enough people against him. That's the idea of a coup.
I think as long as we provide a united front and maybe use the imposing nature of Keenan, for he is an imposing figure in his own right and stands out as otherworldly and from a higher plane, that may well sway the Lord onto our side, I think.
You must be very careful though, Volta, with people's fronts. I once in a far off land there was a group called the Judea's People's Front, and they didn't quite get what they wanted.
You should have tried the People's Front of Judea. They're much more amicable.
Maybe.
They were, but they were addicted to wolf's nipple chips, I believe.
I'm glad you've heard of them. I mean, their renown obviously has travelled far.
Well, to be fair, they were regarded as scabs. I think we've done the cultural reference there to the
I think
1970s.
So, one of you must
What
speak to
about-
the Lord. I don't know the reason why you can't all speak to him, really. I mean,
Wait, we can all speak?
of course you can.
what
You'll be in a.
What about the Black Hand? Should we tell him about them?
Well, he knows all there is to know about them. I shouldn't worry too much about that.
Okay.
I think he should know about them. But Logan, know that if you are about to maybe go down the wrong track, I will freeze your trousers so badly you will not defrost for a fortnight.
Yes, I must admit, you really can't go running off your mouth with him. You really can't. And no threats or anger or anything. This Lord Taylor is in charge of this city and all of the outlying towns, cities, villages that are occupied by a human lord or mayor or whatever. They're all governed here.
I
You
mean,
cannot mouth off at him.
I'm
We-
all
we
for
don't
promoting
intend-
this cause, so I think I should keep my mouth shut, and it's going to be a rather dull day at the office.
Shut, but maybe if you feel yourself getting enervated, to maybe take a deeper breath and maybe count as high as you can before going straight in with the antagonism. Maybe
I
just
mean,
a
if I
little bit,
take
or
off
check
my
on.
boots, I could count to 20.
Excellent. That would be enough for a pause, and maybe you could speak to us via the rings to maybe run the ideas past us. It is fine.
I can
I
do
don't
that.
want
I
to
can do
muzzle
that.
you.
So if he pisses me off, I can vent to you guys. I like this.
Yeah, I
Yes.
think that
So-
that will probably do okay, as long as nobody else in the room is able to overhear us like that damned visit the other day.
Your speaking rings. I wouldn't really recommend using them there. It might be seen a bit rude if you all suddenly go quiet. He's going to know you're probably using some sort of magical means to talk to each other. And that will be the other point. You won't be just going in there, swords on your backs. And no, they are going to be using magic to identify any active spells or magical items that you have on you. You won't be able to take weapons in.
How can we trust that if we give our weapons there, how can we trust that the people who are going to guard them are not with a black hand?
Believe me, anybody in that government building is not anything to do with the Black Hand. They are very, very strictly vetted.
All right.
Is it just the big weapons they will be taking, or letter openers as well,
Everything. You cannot take a blade in there. They won't allow it. If you try, you'll be ejected. You'll be arrested.
I mean, they can take my sword, but they ain't taking my guns.
Yes.
What
very
about
good, Logan.
what about if we put our weapons in the bag of holding?
It's a magical item. You won't be taking it in.
So we will, but we can put them in there and then leave the bag on holding with them.
If you have an innate ability to cast spells, such as Volta does, then of course they can't take away that. But if you rely on a spell focus, then that won't be allowed in. That'll be confiscated. So you'll lose any ability to cast spells as well that way. But
Yeah.
he will not be alone with you. There will be his closest and most trusted guard. There will probably be magic users of his own there to protect and make sure that nothing goes on. You must understand, this is a very, very rare instance that
Yes.
he will meet anybody outside of a council meeting. This doesn't happen.
We are going to try and enlist an ally, not go to war with the lord of the
Of
city.
course.
So I have no problem as long as things are going to be secure.
It should be very secure. There shouldn't be any possibility for any foul play. The only foul play will be what you take with you.
Fair enough.
We
I think
don't
It's not
intend
nice
to.
calling
we
me
don't.
that.
Yeah.
I will never play with chickens.
Sorry, he's an elf.
Yes.
Only down the left-hand side.
All the
I, for
elfie on
one,
the left
I
side.
think we should go do this.
I'm quite happy to meet and to
Yes.
leave my weapons. It will
If
be fine.
If it puts him at ease, then sure.
Yes.
And the more influence he has, the better it is for the cause. So, yeah, I'm in.
Yes. Me too.
Cool. Well, the only thing would be to obviously bed down for the night, and then in the morning we'll begin the meeting with Lord Taylor. But I think, given that it is 10 to 11, perhaps if you want to, we could stay on stream for 10 minutes. You could decide amongst you, maybe someone write it down, what questions you want to ask Lord Taylor in the meeting, or you can do it offline and in the group chat. You can discuss amongst yourselves. But I think it'd be good, as you've already said, to at least have a plan of what questions you want to ask, because it is going to this will be sort of that deciding moment. Are you going to get him on side, or are you on side?
I think this would be better done before next session so that we can think about it properly.
Absolutely,
We
needs
don't
to
have to go
happen
through
for
it.
next session.
We don't have to go through it now and then at the beginning of next session as well.
I mean, you've got the campaign diary as well on Discord,
Yes.
so I mean, you can discuss perhaps in the group chat, and then once you've got some solid questions, put it on the campaign diary, and then we
Huge
can.
brackets. It'll be not Logan. That's what it'll be.
It's
That's all
just
the
so
notes,
you
not
have it.
Logan.
Yeah, it's so you've got it written down, so that you know this is what we're actually going to stick to and ask him.
Yeah. And Logan, you will have a job on the day. You can take the bouquet of flowers and present him with that or something. You know, it'd be fun.
Bouquet of flowers.
Apologies to viewers and listeners, we haven't had any combat for a little while.
I mean, I tried my best to make combat. Gotta be said.
I did kind of want to get into a bit of a fight in that alleyway at the start of the match, start of the stream, but obviously that was sort of talked out of.
See, we're
but-
nothing if not diplomats.
Do you know what though? It's quite nice to have some RP sessions to actually do a bit of story progression, because it can't all be about hacking and slashing, can it? There needs to be some
No.
story progressions and
Unless
bits and
priests
bobs.
are involved.
Yeah, I had a very brief combat with an unarmed priest in a courtyard.
I mean, it made me feel powerful. All right, God.
You got a raging boner over it.
What? Whoa, whoa. That is not
I
where I was
noticed
going
that,
with
but I
this.
pressed it digitated it away. With the prisoners, you know.
Right.
You don't notice when he said he slashed his throat that his camera sort of jolted back a little bit as it raised up and down.
Well, with that, we're gonna say thank you to Steve Corbs up there,
Cheers.
a Separatensis over there, Plain Lily,
Good night.
Captain Danface up there.
Thanks for watching.
He looks so happy right now. There he is. There's his smile. Mr. DM, Captain Gingerbeard up top.
Bye-bye.
I've been Gilded Branch, and we will be back same time next time. We are going to go, if any of you have got time to stay and chat for 10 minutes, drop some emotes and stuff, over to a friend called Coca Crowley, who is playing, I believe, a Christmas-inspired Valheim. So we'll see what happens with that and how it even works. I have no idea. But thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week at Tuesday, 8:30 GMT.
Thank
Bye.
you all.
Bye bye.
There you go.